Welcome back everyone to day 18 to YITDOTS Fitness live here again. I'm so happy I made it. Didn't think I was going to make it today. It's super late for me to be recording. However, I still wanted to give you guys an offering. So I hope you guys are ready and dressed and prepared with your mats on your mat for today's practice. Once again, today is day 18 of the YITDOTS Fitness Dance Yoga Challenge. Continue to visit the website and send your videos in, your pictures too, at yitdotsfitness.com or yitdots.com. Remembering that YITDOTS is an acronym that stands for Yoga is the Dance of the Soul. For everybody that tuned in yesterday, I'm sorry I was testing out new microphones and I set it up wrong. So I will upload day 17. However, I will upload it from my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen it yet, go to the YouTube, YITDOTS Fitness, and you'll be able to see day 17 and see how we YITDOTS the pose from yesterday. All right, let's go for the book first. Remember, we have a book club, Light on Yoga. This is our first book, BKS Iyengar. Please get it. Every day that I read it, I get some valuable gem from this book, and it's written so well. There is Sanskrit in it. However, even with all of that, you get this beautiful, yummy feeling of how much more there is to yoga than the asanas. So I think this is going to be very exciting. Join us for our book club. Please get the book, BKS Iyengar, Light on Yoga. All right, so I'll put this down. Okay, so talking about how there's more to yoga than meets the eye. Remember yesterday we did dancer's pose or dancing Shiva or king dancer's pose, however you call it. And that was a pretty complicated pose, not a beginner's level. And if you haven't seen it, go to day 17 and check it out and try it. Today, like I mentioned to you, we're going to do a simpler pose. However, in yoga, everything is something. So even a simple pose has its complexities, meaning it looks pretty simple, yet it can still be done wrong. So we're going to go through the pose, YITDOTS it, and create some beautiful wave-like movements to get us into other poses that I think you'll like too. All right, we're here. Let's get started. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I made it today. All right, let's go. I hope this time works better for some of you because I know when I do it late, you guys are super happy. I think you guys get off work and you're like, yay, YITDOTS time. So I hope this is one of those occasions. Come join me to the top of your mat. As we normally do, we're going to start off with Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. Okay? Whew. All right. Let's start off in Tadasana. We're going to do sun salutation B with the chair pose. So I hope this brings us some glute activity so that we can prepare for the pose of the day. So we're starting off at the top of our mats. We can go ahead and bring our feet together if that serves you best. Palms facing forward. You're rolling your shoulders up, down, and back. Really sending that heart chakra forward. And breathing in and out of your nose. We'll make some variations to Surya Namaskar B. However, for the most part, we're just going to float through it. Take a deep breath in. Float the arms up and back. And then float the arms around and sit in chair pose as you push your hips back, bring your arms up towards the ear, or you can bring them out in front or right next to your heart. I want you to choose. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in and exhale into forward fold. Bringing the crown of your head down towards the floor and gently bringing your nose towards your knees. Lift up into flat back. Sending the crown of the head forward and breathing. Take a deep breath in, Plant the hands down, sending the right, then the left foot back, holding this beautiful plank, fingertips nice and wide, spreading the toes, and really pushing away from the floor with your arms. Take a deep breath in, lean forward, tucking the elbows to the side, slowly lower down through chaturanga, coming down to the ground, untucking the toes, and lifting up for upward facing dog. Tuck the back toes or roll over them for downward facing dog. Make sure your fingertips are facing forward. You're in this beautiful inverted V, our first downward dog. So let's kind of walk it out to the tops of the feet. Keeping the breath in motion, stilling the mind. And let's roll one ankle at a time around, circular. And same ankle, turn inward. And switch. Roll the other ankle outward in a circle. Keeping the breath in motion and turn it inside. Beautiful. And send your hips up and back. Let's lift the right leg up. Look forward, bend the knees in, and set the foot down. Lift up into warrior one. Pivoting the back toes and squaring the hips. That front knee is bent 90 degrees. Keep your head stacked on top of your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and round the hands in a circle. Pivot the back foot. Bring your hands down and send the right foot back into plank. Take a deep breath in. Lean forward. Tuck the elbows to the side. Slowly lower down. Through chaturanga, lifting up for upward facing dog. Really opening up into that back bend. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in and lift back up into downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up. Bend the knee into chest. And settle it back down softly, softer than I did. And pivot the back toes, lift up into warrior one, and pivot the hips forward. Square the hips and breathe. Beautiful. Round the hands in a circle. Bring the fingertips back down, pivot the back toes. Bring the left foot back. Lean forward and slowly lower down through chaturanga and lift up once again. Upward facing dog. And lift back, tucking the toes for downward facing dog. Look forward, bend the knees, hop, or step the feet forward into flat back, engaging the core, squeezing the belly button to the spine. Take a deep breath in and forward, into forward fold. Hands to the side of the legs. Bring your nose closer to your knees. And bring the feet closer together. Take a deep breath in. Sit the hips down, raise the arms up for chair pose. Take a deep breath in, rise all the way up and arch back, thrusting the hips forward. And come back up to the ceiling and bring the hands down and to the side. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands to heart center. This is where we will set the intention for today's practice. I want you to feel it out. Breathe through this and trust that you know exactly what you need at this point. We are on day 18, so make your intentions fruitful for where you'd like to see the practice go for the next days to come. All right, so wherever you are with your intentions, I want you to speak it aloud 3 times or speak it within your heart. I'll speak mine aloud. My intention is to love from my heart and not from my fear. My intention is to love from my heart and not from my fear. My intention is to love from my heart and not from my fear. I'll give you a moment to say yours. All right, wherever you are, feet together. Let's go through the Surya Namaskar B one more time. Take a deep breath in, float the arms up, and arch back. Sending the hips forward, stand up tall, and slowly swan dive down, bowing to your own heart. You are now in forward fold. Lift up into chair pose. Sitting your hips down and take a deep breath in and send your hands back down. Like I said, we're making slight modifications, but the basics of Surya Namaskar B will be implemented within. Bring your head, your nose closer to your knees. And take a deep breath in and flat back. Squeezing that belly button into your spine, either keeping your hands on the floor or onto the shins. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to the floor. Now bring the left, then the right leg back. I like to start with opposite legs so that we can really activate and utilize both sides of the body evenly. Pushing away from the floor in plank pose. Take a deep breath in, lean forward, tucking the elbows to the side, slowly lower down through chaturanga, and lift up into this beautiful back bend of upward facing dog. And tuck the toes and push up for downward facing dog. Let's start with the left leg. Bring it up for 3-legged dog. Bend the knee in and then settle it down. Pivot the back foot and rise up for warrior 1. Aligning your biceps with your ears. Internally rotate your arms. Take a deep breath in. Round your hands in a circle. Pivot the back foot. Plant the hands down on the side of the foot. And step the left leg back. Pushing away from the floor in plank pose. Take a deep breath in. And exhale as you tuck the elbows to the side. Going all the way down through chaturanga. Lifting up into upward facing dog. And breathe. Take a deep breath in. And tuck the toes. And push your hips up and back for downward dog. Sending the energy of your heels down towards the mat so you can really stretch out your whole leg and your spine. Straighten the arms. Take a deep breath in. Float the right leg up for 3-legged dog. Bend the knee in. And plant it down. Pivot the back toes. Rise up for warrior 1. Square your hips forward. The front knee bent 90 degrees. Take a deep breath in. Round the hands in a circle as you pivot the back foot and bring the hands down. Send the right foot back. Take a deep breath in, lean forward, slowly lower down through chaturanga, and lift up once again for upward facing dog. And roll over your toes or tuck your toes for downward facing dog. Beautiful. I want you to walk or hop forward, bend your knees first, and rise up into flat back. Crown of the head facing the wall. Take a deep breath in and come into chair pose. Take a deep breath in and fold forward into forward fold. We actually should have done the forward fold first. Sorry. Breathe. Bring your nose closer to your knees. Keep your breath in motion. Let's do that chair pose again. Take a deep breath in. Rise into chair pose, sending the arms up. Sit your hips back. Breathe in once again. And stand up tall. And let's arch back. Thrusting the hips forward. Come back up. Round the hands in a circle. Back to Tadasana. Breathe in. And bring your hands into Namaste. Prayer pose. Bringing your thumbs into your sternum, that heart chakra, that space. Tuck your chin to chest and feel that heartbeat while you continue to engage the core. Remembering your intentions, take a deep breath in and release. Okay, we're here. So, day 18. Today's pose of the class is thread the needle. I know you're gonna love this. It is one of my favorites. You're gonna stretch out that thoracic spine and you're gonna really get some shoulder mobility. I think it's gonna be great. And the YITDOTS portion of it is gonna be very smooth and you're gonna enjoy the movement. So join me on your mat. If you're not there already, put a like button if you actually like thread the needle, if you know thread the needle, if you're like, whoo, thank goodness, this is a saving grace from Dancer's Pose yesterday. If you like more poses like this, more poses that are perhaps more accessible to more people, let me know. There are so many different beautiful, simple poses that are also restorative that can be YITDOTS. So let's go for it. All right, so we're gonna start off on the mat in tabletop. So fingertips nice and wide, your knees hip distance apart, your hands right underneath the shoulder, and your body is not arched. You're in a tabletop, so you're neither flexed or arched. So keep your back in this tabletop nice and flat. And then I want you to lift your right hand up and open up to that side body. And then bring that hand, thread the needle underneath the left armpit. Really send it through. And I want you to keep your hips right on top of your knees, so don't go back. And there are different variations where you could go back, but the authentic thread the needle, you want to keep the hips right on top of the knees. And then I want you to take that left arm, bring it overhead. So here we are. You should start to feel that in that thoracic column of your spine. Breathe through it. Press the tops of your feet down. Keep your hips squared. Try not to squish to one side. Stay right there centered. And breathe. You also have the variation where you can bring the left hand up, bend the elbow, send it behind your back, and open up that left shoulder blade. and release. Arm back up and unthread the needle. Let's bring that arm right back up and down. All right. What do you think? You like thread the needle. I know I like thread the needle. I'm happy you're here for thread the needle. We are threading the needles of dance and yoga. So this is appropriate for us to do thread the needle. Just like yesterday, it was appropriate for us to do dancer's pose. So I'm going to show you on the other side. I'm going to turn around. Now, should I turn around? Actually, let me stay here because I'll face that way afterwards. Okay, so tabletop, knees about hip distance apart, hands on the shoulder, about shoulder width apart, and keep your body straight. Don't arch, we're just staying straight. I want you to take a deep breath in and bring that left arm up. Try not to move the hip too much. Bring the left arm up and then thread that needle underneath the right shoulder. And then you can also bring that right hand overhead. Remember to keep your hips stacked on top of each other. Your hips stacked on top of your knees. And then you have the other option of bringing that right arm up and then bending the elbows behind your back. And take a deep breath in. Bring the hand up and release. Back hand, left arm back up to the ceiling and back down. Okay, a couple of things. I don't know if you noticed the filter, it's putting like little gold sparkles for those of you on Facebook. For those of you on YouTube, there are no filters because I don't know how to use the filters on YouTube. However, if you're on Facebook and you don't like filters, you can go to YouTube. And if you're on YouTube and you're like, hey, she keeps talking about filters and I've never seen a filter. I've never seen Tracy ever have a filter. She's always just out there. Well, if you want to see me have a filter, go on Facebook. All right, so that was thread the needle. Now we're going to YITDOTS it. We're going to bring dance and mobility to the thread the needle pose. So let's start off on the other side. And it's actually going to go through this motion, that same motion that we were just doing. It's going to be that same feel. And it's going to be here. And thread the needle, there are a couple of options. So like I said, authentically, you want to keep your hips right on top of the knees. However, there are other variations where you can actually bring the hips down. It's not the fullness of the pose. Still, you'll get a good stretch. However, some people may not like the fullness. It might be too much. And some people just maybe want to do it differently, so modify it. You're going to choose, and within the YITDOTS, we'll also create those differences too. So just know the pose is what I showed you, and we'll have some variants within the YITDOTS. So let's go for it. All right, keeping the breath in motion. Let's start with the first pose. Hands shoulder width apart, knees hip distance apart. Really press the tops of your feet down. So your feet always kind of wants to have that little space in between the mat. I want you to activate it. Press the tops of your feet down on the mat. Spine is neutral. And then you're going to bring the hands, right hand up, move the hip over, and down. Up, and down. Up, and down. Up and down. That's the first move. Let's try that on the other side. So we haven't landed in thread the needle. On the fourth one, we will hold it down in the full thread the needle. Okay? So let's go for the second pose. Take a deep breath in. Move with breath. Left hand up, through. Up and through. Use your head up and your hip and through. Up and through. Pose number one, simple. Simple, today's simple. We're starting late, but we may be finishing early. We're handling this. That was it. That was it. Nice and simple. All right, so let's go to the second move. So we're here. So we'll go for the first one, and then we'll add in the second one where we're actually holding that thread needle. Take a deep breath in, and bring the right hand up. Move the hips, move the arms, move the head. 1, 2, Look at the fingers. 3, last one, 4, and send it through. And bring the arms up. And then I want you to bring the hands around and through. Around and through. Around and through. Around and through. Okay, that was the second one. So it's the motion with the arms. We'll do it on this side so you can see it another light. I hope you guys like this. I hope this is simple. Continue to write me. Let me know how it's feeling. And continue to visit the website, YITDOTSFitness.com, or you can simply put YITDOTS.com. And you will see more free online videos, and you'll see our programs and our services, and just get to enjoy the family, the community within the YITDOTS. So remember, YITDOTS is an acronym that stands for Yoga is the Dance of the Soul. So I hope your soul is truly dancing through this thread and needles pose. Okay, let's go for it. Take a deep breath in. We're going to start with the left hand. And take a deep breath in. Bring the arm up and through. Up and through. Up and through. One more. Up and through. And the arm comes here, around. You can even close your eyes here, around. Here, around. I got lost. Here, around. So it goes up, overhead, and back by the glutes, and then it comes through. Up, overhead, then back by the glutes, and then it comes through. Okay, that's the move. That's move number 2. Let's do it again on the other side. Okay, is it too simple? Are you feeling, oh wait, I want to do more? If you want to do more, if you're feeling like, this is simple, because it's simple, I want to do more, let me know, and we'll see what we can do about that. All right, we're back to tabletop, and let's kind of get a resting out of this because we've been on our knees for a while. Tuck your toes, and lift your knees up slightly for bear pose. And feel the bear. Feel the bear inside. Feel it. And then lift the hips up and send it back for downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in and exhale back into bear. Really grip the floor. Take a deep breath in and exhale back into downward dog. Sending the energy of your heels down towards the mat. Take a deep breath in and exhale back into bear. Last one. Take a deep breath in and exhale back into downward dog. Really spreading your toes, spreading your fingers. And then take a deep breath in and slowly lower down to the mat. Untucking the toes. Let's go for some cat and cows. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulder, your knees hip distance apart, and we're bringing the head up, opening up the thyroid glands, and then tucking chin to chest, rounding in that C curve, and back. Keep flowing. Let's go with breath. Breathe in, breathe out. In and out through the nose. One more. Okay, so and that in itself, I can get lost in it. That's enough for me to get lost in the pose. Those breathing exercises. This is the only thing you need to do to get high. I mean, breathe. You know, I've actually heard that people that smoke, they think it's the cigarette that they like, or the smoking, or what they get that feeling, but it's actually the fact that smoking requires you to take deep breaths, deep puffs, and that alone can happen without any cigarettes, without any other things. So if you just breathe deeply, you actually can get high off of your own breath. You can become breathtaking. Okay, enough. Let's go for it. All right, knees hip distance apart. We're going for the right side. And take a deep breath in. Really press the tops of your feet down on the mat. And let's say if this is not comfortable, feel free to tuck your toes. That's fine too. And we're going to start with the right hand. And 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Breathe. 2. 3. 4. Let the hands down, thread the needle, bring that left arm up, around, and through. Up, around, and through. Up, around, and through. And from here, let's come out of thread the needle and enter bird dog pose. And then we're going to grab the leg in the back with the opposite arm for tiger pose. And release. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing this right. We have, oh yeah, that is it. That's tiger pose. I wanted to make sure I was grabbing the right arm. So we're going from thread the needle, thread the needle, then bird dog, then tiger pose. All right. So once again, let's stretch out the toes. I want you to go back and forth into this modified child's pose with your toes tucked and just rock back and forth. Last 2 and 1. Turn the fingertips facing your knees. And if that's not possible, just keep them forward. We're just stretching out the wrists. 2. Last 2. And release. Beautiful. All right, so that was the final pose. That was, you haven't heard me say this in a while. That was the crescendo. So we got the crescendo in. As long as we get the crescendo in, we're good, okay? So let's go for that final move, which is thread the needle, 2 bird dog, then tiger pose. Notice how tiger and the bear sound the same. All right, let's go. Okay, knees hip distance apart. Hands, fingertips nice and wide underneath your shoulders. And take a deep breath in. We're starting with that left arm. Breathe in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Back is neutral. Back is neutral spine. And go. 1, 2, 3. Smile when you do it. 4. And hold. Bring the arm up and through. Up and around and through. Up and around and through. One more. Up and around and through. Plant the hands down. Keep the left arm. When you take the left arm under, don't put it on the floor. You're going to extend the left arm and the right leg back for bird dog. Hold for a moment. You may even want to reposition your hands so they're underneath your shoulders. You're pointing the toes, squaring the hips. Then I want you to bend the arm and bend the leg at the same time, and then grab hold of the leg if you can. If you can't, that's okay. And then lift up for tiger pose. And release. Beautiful. All right, let's go to the other side. We're looking good. It's going good. Okay, so we're going to the other side. That was the crescendo. That was all of it. So we're moving through poses, moving through time, and getting to a beautiful meditative state. Okay. Take a deep breath in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right hand. Up and through. Up and through. Up and through. One more. Up and through. Bring the left arm around, forward, around, forward, around, forward. One more. Around, forward. Plant the hands down, fingertips wide. Bring the right hand out and extend the left leg behind for bird dog. Bend both the right arm and the right leg, the left leg, and grab hold and lift up for tiger pose. This is the end. So we end in a different pose. And release. We did it. That was it. We're gonna do it one more time on the other side. This time I'll give you a chance to get into your own zone, your own feeling about what you're doing, your own YITDOTS experience. And know that you do not need to grab the ankle if that's too much. If anything causes pain, don't do it. Because the more you get into pain, it's only gonna get worse. So stay out of those pain zones and do what you can. So let's say that you're here in bird dog, opposite arm, opposite leg, and then you bend it. You can flex or point the foot. You can stay right here. This is absolutely beautiful. Keep the hip high, keep the knee high aligned with your hip. This is beautiful. That's it. You do not have to grab on. Make your choices and be wise about your body because your body is your friend. So we're gonna do it again. Go at your own pace. Feel it, close your eyes, breathe through it. Okay, please tell me if you're liking these videos, if you're enjoying this 30-day dance yoga challenge, this YITDOTS challenge. How do you feel about this? Did you even know there was a such thing as dance yoga? Did you know that you could dance yoga? Have you ever even done yoga? Let me know your experiences. I want to know because it's important for me to see your journey and where you feel like this can take you. Rhythmic yoga, I feel, is really important because I think it invites more people that work better rhythmically to actually participate. Because certain people, it's not just exercises they need rhythmically, it's everything in life. You know, when they're moving around cooking, when they're in the yard, or when they're doing things at work, they need that kind of rhythm. And if you're that type of person that's like, yeah, I need to be in a place where I am rhythmically moving about and feeling the pulse of life, feeling the pulse of my body in a smooth and just balanced way, sort of like there's drums behind me, then yes, please let me know if this is working for you. Okay, let's go for it. This is the last 2 rounds and you're doing it with yourself. I will guide you through the beginning and just breathe out the rest. So right now we're on tabletop, push away from the floor, knees about hip distance apart, head looking down at the mat, spine neutral, press the tops of the feet down on the floor, take a deep breath in. I'm gonna start with my right arm. You start where you feel comfortable. 5, 6, 7, 8. Release. Whew, that felt good. Let's do it on the other side. Breathe it out, make it yours. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. Beautiful. All right, let's get into our meditation. Today, our meditative practice will be in downward dog. First of all, thank you for being here. It's late, and I appreciate you all that Look forward to these videos and let me know that this is something that you want. And I look forward to continuing to give you this 30-day series because I think it's something that's out of the box that gets us to a new place with new thoughts. So we're going to go into our meditation in downward dog. And remember, downward dog is that inverted V. And I know you might be thinking, that doesn't seem like a meditative pose. However, I promise you, downward dog is a restorative pose. So let's get into it and breathe through it. Okay. So we'll start off in tabletop, just like we've been all evening, or wherever you are, the whole practice. Knees hip distance apart, fingertips nice and wide, shoulder width apart. Take a deep breath in, tuck your toes, and then lift your knees up slightly for bear pose. And then send your hips up and back for downward dog. Beautiful. Really press your heels into the mat as much as you can. And if you want to spread out your feet a little bit, about hip distance apart or more, whatever suits you for this meditative flow, do so. And make sure your fingertips are facing forward. One way to secure that your fingertips are facing forward is to look to see if your middle fingers you're facing forward. And then you'll know. Squeezing your belly button to the spine. There shouldn't be so much pressure in the hands because you're sending the hips back and you're breathing. So right now we have our heart above our head. This is a really great place to make decisions. I've mentioned this to you before. It said if you want to make a sound and heartfelt decision, something that is what you really want, you want your heart to be above your head. So I want you to feel as you're in this inversion, some of you may be able to do different inversions like headstand or shoulder stance or different things like that, but handstand. However, right now this is an inversion. You are in an inversion. So right now I want you to enjoy this feeling of blood flow and of circulation and of openness. And let's go with our breaths, breathing in and out through sniff and throat. Please join me. Allow your body to shake and whimper and relax into this pose. Last 3. And take a deep breath in. Squeeze everything nice and tight. Squeeze Mula Bandha. Squeeze. And release back down to the floor. In child's pose, knees about hip distance apart. Big toes touching. I want your palms up. Pinkies touching, head down in between. From here, open and close your hands, squeezing them into a fist, and then relieving. Squeeze your hands into a fist, and then releasing. 2 more times, squeeze your hands into a fist, and release. Last time, squeeze your hands into a fist, and release. Beautiful. Hold. Relaxing your mind, trusting your body, releasing into the stretch. That's 5 breaths. And release. Palms facing down, slowly roll up into a seated position, a thunderbolt or hero's pose, or if this is too much, sit on your glutes. We did it. Day 18 is done. I want to say I appreciate all of you. I was thinking of this podcast I started listening to the other day. I think it's called We Can Do Hard Things. And that's how I feel every time I do this. I'm like, I can do hard things. This is a challenge, like getting myself up and ready to do this, getting the space ready. You would not imagine what I did today. Like I have like 3 pots stacked up on top of the laptop. And then the tripod is in the back holding the phone. And then I had to make sure that the tripod wasn't covering the camera for it. It's so funny. It's okay. And all of that, I'm thinking, God help me, don't fall. So it's always a lot because every day I want to just improve on the videography, the skills and what you see. I want it to be better. And I hope you notice that I am trying. I'm trying to make it better. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Continue to like and share and visit the website. And please continue to send your videos and pictures in because you guys look so good. All your questions will be answered. I will continue to look at everything you say. And when you have a response in regards to a pose or something you can't do, I'm definitely happy to give you modifications. And thank you. Thank you. Have a great night. Have a great day. And namaste.